A scorched world stretches to the horizon, where the sky burns in hues of crimson and fire. Towering flames devour the edge of existence, their roar echoing across the desolation. The earth quakes, splitting, groaning, as molten rivers carve glowing scars through shattered stone. Embers spiral through the air, caught in a violent dance with the howling winds of ruin. As we move forward, the heat votes reality, blurring the lines between the living and the lifeless. Distant mountains ripple like ghosts, mirages flickering in the infernal hatch. The sound of apocalypse, fire, earth, fury swells to a crescendo as this world teeters on the edge of oblivion. An endless frozen wasteland sprawls beneath a darkened sky, where towering glaciers rise like the remnants of a forgotten age. A relentless wind screams across the plains, driving snow in swirling gusts that erase all trace of life. The ocean lies frozen, its surface fractured by jagged veins of ice, drifting like silent sentinels toward the horizon. Above, the sun hangs low, a pale, dying light barely piercing the thick, oppressive clouds. As the camera moves forward, the creak of ancient ice groans through the stillness, a warning whispered from the depths of collapse, of change, of an eternal winter that has no end. The sky is no longer blue. It is consumed, swallowed whole by a towering inferno that blots out the heavens. Dark clouds twist and churn, alive with flame, glowing from within like a living storm of fire and fury. Sparks drift through the chaos, like fireflies born of ruin, dancing on winds that whisper death. Below, ash falls like snow, silent, steady, smothering all in a blanket of finality. The very air burns, warped by heat, bending the world into a hedge of devastation. This is not just fire. This is the end made visible. A storm-choked sky looms overhead. The sun, distant and weary, fights to pierce the veil of darkness that clings to the world. Frost thickens the air. Mist coils like breath held too long. A dim light flickers through the storm, pale, ghostly, and fleeting, swallowed almost as soon as it appears. Below, the land lies in a frozen twilight, where shadows stretch long and motionless, as if time itself has slowed. The wind howls across the emptiness, not with rage, but with sorrow. This is a world suspended, trapped between day and night. In the still, silent hush of an eternal dusk. A city stands on the edge of oblivion, divided by forces beyond control. On one side, fire reigns. Towers collapse in a cascade of molten steel. Flames leap skyward, devouring glass and steel alike. The air is thick with smoke, the streets scorched and silent, twisted wreckage melting in the inferno. On the other, time stands still. Skyscrapers are frozen monuments, sealed in ice. Snow blankets the roads, untouched, unbroken. Frost weaves across shattered windows like nature reclaiming its throne. Between them, a razor-thin boundary. A place where fire and ice collide, clashing in an eternal war of destruction and stillness. As the camera drifts through the chaos, it reveals a haunting contrast. Heat and frost. Motion and silence. A city torn apart, locked in a frozen blaze, the final battleground of a world undone. A vast, frozen wilderness stretches endlessly, silent, desolate. But the stillness is breaking. A deep, thunderous crack rips through the air, the sound of the world giving way. Ice fractures like shattered glass, and entire sections of the glacier collapse, falling, spiraling into an abyss without end. The camera follows the descent, slow-motion destruction, as ancient ice vanishes into darkness. From the depths, a cold mist rises, swirling like breath from the earth itself, carried by winds that whisper of endings. Above, the sky churns with coming storms, dark and heavy, pierced only by a faint, ghostly glow. The world holds its breath. The collapse continues. Until at last everything is gone. Swallowed by the frozen abyss. Silence. Fade to black.